You've always been a fallback, never a son. My mother's voice dripped with disdain after I spent $10,000 on a necklace for her retirement. Find someone else to bankroll your life, I shot back, handing the necklace to a server and laying bare every truth at the dinner table. You should have given it to your sister. That's all she said. No gratitude, no warmth, just a cold, emotionless line, like she was commenting on the forecast. She didn't even glance at the gift. With 2 fingers, she pushed the velvet box back across the table, as if it were tainted. Inside was a bespoke diamond necklace, expensive, thoughtful, the result of weeks of effort, calls, and custom designs to honor her retirement. And that was her response. My father chuckled, raised his glass, and said, "Well, your sister's always had better style." A few cousins at the table's edge let out uneasy laughs, the kind that come when tension fills the room and no one wants to take sides. My uncle shifted uncomfortably, coughing lightly. My aunt stared at her hands. Not a single person spoke up for me. That's when it sank in. This wasn't about the necklace. It was never about the gift. It was about the role they'd carved out for me in this family. The fixer, the supporter, the silent one in the shadows, the safety net, the afterthought. My sister, Sarah, sipped her cranberry spritzer like royalty, serene and self-assured. "Truthfully," she said, eyes fixed on her glass, "she deserves it more. She's been through so much." I didn't argue. I didn't fight. I just reached for the box, turned, and walked away. At the bar, a waitress, probably my age, was clearing empty glasses. Her name tag read Emma. I approached and handed her the box. She looked puzzled, so I smiled and said, "Loud enough for the room to hear? Then she can cover the bills too." Gasps followed. Forks clinked against plates. My mother's sharp inhale sounded like shattering crystal. I didn't turn back. I didn't wait for their reaction. I pulled out my phone, opened my banking app, and started cutting ties. The mortgage payments, the insurance policies, the emergency contact lists. 3 clicks, and I was gone. For the first time in my life, I felt free. But this wasn't the start. This began long ago. Not with diamonds or retirement parties, not even with Sarah's smug glances. It started with the subtle ways people show you you're useful, not cherished. That you're the helper, not the priority. They saw me as dependable, not valued. Now, I was ready to show them what happens when the dependable one walks away for good. I didn't always have $10,000 to spend. In my 20s, I was barely getting by. 2 jobs, a cramped apartment with a ceiling that dripped during storms. My bank account was often emptier than my spirit. But I still helped, because I thought that's what family meant. You show up, you carry the load, you bend over backward so others don't have to. My mother, a retired educator with a voice like stale coffee, called me her rock. I thought it was praise. It wasn't. It meant, you don't complain, so we'll keep taking. It started small, a few bucks for a broken heater. Sarah's tuition payment bounced. Dad's insurance lapsed, just for a month. That month became a year. I paid their mortgage. 3 years straight, not one word of thanks. Sarah crashed her car in 2019. I covered the deductible. Mom needed dental surgery, money sent. No one asked if I could afford it. Dad called, sobbing because his business partner bailed and their lake house was at risk. I handled it. I even paid for the dog's leg surgery. I didn't know dogs had surgeries like that. Then Sarah started treating me like her personal ATM. "Hey, can you spot me $200 for groceries? I'll pay you back soon." Soon never came. "Can I borrow your card for a bit?" A bit became forever. One favor turned into months of debt collectors hounding me instead of her. When I finally said no, Sarah posted on Instagram, "Some people only care when they can use you. Glad I see it now." Comments poured in. "You're better off. Stay strong. Family's who shows up." My mother liked the post. Then came Sarah's 30th birthday fiasco. They rented a chic rooftop lounge, DJ, open bar, a custom cake shaped like a designer bag. Guess who footed the bill? Me. Mom said, "It's just until Sarah gets stable." Meanwhile, Sarah strutted in wearing Gucci heels. She toasted with some fancy mocktail I couldn't name. I sipped a plain soda I paid for myself. At the end of the night, I overheard Sarah whisper to Mom. They laughed. Then Mom turned to me and said, "You've always been the dependable one. Honestly, I don't know how Sarah would manage without you." It felt like a sentence, not a compliment. That's when I started pulling back. No more last-minute transfers, no more Venmo surprises, just silence. That's when the attacks began. In the family group chat, Sarah wrote, "Some people pretend to care, then vanish when you need them." Dad added, "I raised a son, not a cash machine," Mom chimed in. It's sad when people forget where they come from. Then Sarah delivered the final strike, just saying this now before it spreads. "My brother said I'm not family, that I'm a burden, that I ruined his life. Lies. I never said any of that, but no one asked me. Instead, they sent praying hands emojis. We love you, Sarah, and stay strong. My aunt even shared it on Facebook. Suddenly, I was the villain in a story I didn't write. Then I found the hard drive. Years ago, I'd fixed Sarah's laptop, because of course I did, and backed up her files. I'd forgotten about it. But while cleaning out my storage unit, I plugged it in, curious. I wasn't hunting for dirt. I just wanted to know what was there. And I found it. Dozens of forged screenshots, manipulated texts, distorted DMs, pieced together to make it look like I'd threatened her, insulted her, called her vile names. One fake message read, "You're nothing to me." It was clipped from a joke about a movie. There was even a doctored audio file, stitched from old voicemails, making it sound like I'd screamed at her. I listened 5 times. The pitch shifted unnaturally. It was fake, but convincing to anyone who wanted to believe it. And they did. That's when I saw this wasn't about money. It was about control. I'd always been the one to fix things, so they tried to keep me in that box by breaking me. But no more. That week, I found an email Mom accidentally sent me. She wrote to Sarah, "He's not an issue as long as he keeps paying. If he stops, we'll make sure he can't walk away." They talked about me like I was a tool. Turn it on when you need it, toss it when it's inconvenient. That's when I got to work. I called the mortgage company, the insurance broker, the hospital where I was listed as their emergency contact. One by one, removed. 3 years of financial burdens, undone in hours. They didn't even notice. Not until the necklace, not until the dinner, not until I placed that $10,000 gift in front of my mother. And she said, "You should have given it to your sister." That was the final proof. When she didn't even offer a thank you, I gave the necklace to a stranger and walked away. But I wasn't done. Everything Sarah faked? I had it saved, time-stamped, archived, ready. And I had a plan. The big moment came at what I called the retirement dinner encore. After the necklace scene, my parents pleaded for me to come to a smaller gathering. I stayed silent. No replies to texts, no answers to calls, not even to Dad's bitter voicemail. "You always ruin everything." But then Mom called, her voice calculated, like she was choosing her words carefully. She wanted peace, she said. The party got out of hand. Sarah didn't mean it. They were hosting a smaller dinner now. Just family, the real ones. I smiled. For once, I agreed. I said I'd come. I didn't mention I was bringing a guest. The dinner was at their house, and they overdid it. Crisp linens, glowing candles, napkins folded into roses. Sarah wore a silk scarf. Dad had on his old realtor jacket. Mom smelled of berry spritzer and wore her fake smile for show. I arrived with a flash drive, a second phone with backups, and someone else, Mark. Sarah's ex. The same Mark she accused of betrayal, harassment, ruining her life. The one she claimed I supported because I hated her? Sarah opened the door and nearly dropped her glass. "What's he doing here?" she stammered. Mark smiled calmly. "You'll want to sit for this." I let him go first. He pulled out a black folder, placing one copy in front of Dad, another in front of Mom, and a flash drive beside Sarah. "Everything she said about me is a lie," he said. "Here's the proof." Inside were printed emails, bank statements, photos, and messages of Sarah talking to other guys while dating Mark. She'd orchestrated it all, crafting fake texts like, "I'll destroy you," to paint Mark as the villain and justify her breakdown. Dad tried to speak. I raised a hand. "Sit. You need to see this." I plugged my flash drive into their living room TV. The screen flickered. Slide 1. A screenshot of Sarah's Instagram story from weeks ago. Some people deserve to be exposed, even family. I looked at her. "Let's make your wish come true." Slide 2. A fake text Sarah edited in Photoshop, shown next to the original with timestamps. Slide 3. Audio analysis. I played her doctored voice memo, then the real clip, highlighting the obvious cuts. Slide 4. An email from Mom to Sarah calling me a reliable cash flow with emotional baggage. Silence. Slide 5. Confirmation from the mortgage company that I'd removed my name. Slide 6. A recording of me deleting myself as their emergency contact. Slide 7. An email I sent to the IRS, reporting Dad's falsified veterans tax break. "Remember that veterans grant you claimed for fake expenses?" I said to Dad. "They don't like forged service records." I pulled up his DD-214 military form, active duty blank. He'd lied about serving. "You left the proof on your shared drive," I told Mom. Her jaw opened, but no sound came out. Then Mark delivered his final move, a letter from his attorney addressed to Sarah. "This is your notice," he said evenly. "You'll face consequences for defamation, forgery, and privacy violations. Expect to hear from us." Sarah erupted, screaming so wildly it sounded inhuman, like something inside her snapped. "This is a setup. You're all out to ruin me." Mark stood. I didn't. Not trying, I said. It's already done. She stormed off, slamming her bedroom door so hard a frame fell. Dad, red-faced, tried to speak. I cut him off. Save it. I stood slowly. Each of you showed me what family means when you pushed that necklace toward nostalgia instead of valuing the person who bought it to secure your future. Mom started crying. Don't, I said. Don't humiliate yourself with crocodile tears. I have every proof, and soon, so will everyone. Then a voice came from the hallway. Is this a bad time? Everyone turned. Grandpa stood there, my mother's father, 84, leaning on his cane, holding a folder. No one knew he was coming. I hadn't told anyone, but he'd asked to come, and I agreed. He shuffled in and dropped a manila envelope on the table. It landed like a gavel. My will, he said, updated. Sarah's name was crossed out. Mom gasped. Dad snapped. You can't mean this. I mean it, Grandpa said. That boy paid your mortgage. That girl lies like it's her job. You think I'm leaving my legacy to her? He turned to me, eyes misty but sharp. You showed up without ever asking for anything. I swallowed hard. I've made mistakes, he said, but not today. He left. Sarah didn't come back downstairs. My parents sat in silence. I walked out without a goodbye. Outside, Mark looked at me and said quietly, You really did it. I nodded. I started. 3 days later, I went viral. Not for the act, but for what I shared. The video was simple. No drama, no tears. Just me in my apartment, laptop open, a folder labeled proof beside me. I looked at the camera. When my mom retired, I gave her a $12,000 custom necklace meant to last a lifetime. She opened it, looked at me, and said, You should have given it to your sister. So I gave it to a waitress. Because in 3 seconds, a stranger showed more gratitude than my family did in 3 decades. Then I opened the folder. Screenshots, payment records, audio clips, email threads. I'm not here for sympathy, I said. I'm here for the truth. I laid it out. How I paid their mortgage for 3 years. How Sarah forged messages and audio. How my parents never questioned her lies. How they discarded me when I stopped being their bank. How I found Dad's fake military records and reported them. I kept names out, but the evidence spoke. Blurred screenshots, voice memos, a redacted shot of Sarah's "You ruined my life" post. At the end, I said, I'm not angry, I'm done. Family isn't blood, it's trust. I posted it to vent. I didn't expect what followed. 4 million views in 2 days. Messages poured in from Australia, India, Sweden. People who'd been the reliable one, the invisible pillar, the human wallet. Reddit went wild. Twitter turned, You should have given it to your sister, into a betrayal meme. Then the media came. A podcast, a digital outlet, then Zoom calls with BuzzFeed, BBC, even a finance segment on generational freeloading and the power of saying no. The best part? Everyone who laughed that night saw it. I know because the text started. Aunt Linda, this isn't how we solve things. Uncle Robert, your mom's devastated. Can you help? Sarah, we got it wrong. Let's talk. Mom, I don't recall saying it like that. You're twisting things. Dad, he just sent a thumbs up emoji, spineless as ever. Then Sarah posted her own video, crying under perfect lighting, talking about mental health and keeping family private. It flopped. People spotted the hypocrisy. Someone found her old Instagram post flaunting the Audi I paid for, captioned, My baby, thanks to those who believe in me. The internet shredded her. One comment, This aged like yogurt in the sun. Another posted her fake texts next to my originals. The top reply, You should have given those lies to your sister. She deleted the video in 18 hours. Then came the apologies. Aunt Linda, I didn't know the full story. We love you, Uncle Robert. I always knew you were sharp. Didn't know you were this tough. Too late. I didn't respond. Instead, I posted again. A short clip. Me in a bright office, papers stacked, a business license framed. The camera panned to a sign on the door. Sons who say no. Financial consulting. We help you break free from ties that bind, not love. 300,000 likes overnight. While they unraveled, I built. I teamed up with a nonprofit helping adults escape toxic families. Started a newsletter, Exit Scars. Launched online courses like how to exit their mortgage guilt-free. In a month, I earned back the $10,000 necklace cost, 5-fold. People asked, how's it feel to be famous for leaving? I said, I didn't leave. I walked toward myself. For kicks, I donated $10,000, the necklace's exact price, to a charity helping foster kids transition to independence. I posted the receipt with a note. For the real family I never had, may this help someone who needs it. Sarah saw it. She reposted it with one word. Wow. I didn't reply. But I posted one last thing. A photo of my new office, sunlight streaming in, me smiling at peace. The necklace box sat on a shelf, closed. Caption, not your safety net anymore. but thanks for the spark. It's been 3 months since that dinner, 2 since the video, 47 days since Sarah texted, "Can we talk?" I didn't answer. Not out of anger, but because I'm done. I don't live in resentment. I live in calm. Mornings in my apartment, sunlight through clean windows, silence like a prize. No urgent calls, no group chats demanding cash, no voicemails starting, "Hey, can you just..." Mom called 2 weeks ago. Her voice cautious, like navigating a minefield. "I'm sorry if I ever made you feel less than. Your sister's struggling. We miss you. Maybe we can talk." She ended with, "You'll always be my son." But it didn't land. It felt empty, because I was never really their son. Just the backup plan, the emergency fund, the safety net. And I finally cut that cord. I'm not shattered. I'm rebuilt. At 33, I owe no one anything. Not their mortgage, their insurance, their speed dial. They traded love for demands, so I swapped obligation for peace. And peace? It's worth exactly $10,000. I get emails now from people worldwide. "Your story gave me the strength to cut off my toxic mom. I stopped paying my brother's rent. I bought myself a coffee because no one else ever did. I print those and pin them to my office wall. That's my family tree now. Last week, I passed a jewelry store. In the window, a necklace like the one I gave Mom. I stopped, then walked inside. The clerk asked, 'For someone special?' I smiled. 'Yeah, me. I bought it. No box, no wrapping. Hung it by my door, next to my keys. It catches the morning light. A quiet vow. Never again. Oh, and I changed my number. Then I did one final thing. The cherry on top. I rented a billboard, small, just outside their neighborhood. No photos, just black text on white. You should have given it to your sister. The son who left. Bottom right, sons who say no. Let them drive by, let them explain it, let them live with it. As for me, I'm writing my next chapter. Spoiler, they're not in it. So, what are your thoughts on this story? Do you agree with what happened, or do you see it differently? Let us know your opinion in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of our upcoming stories. See you in the next one!